So in this week's video, I'm going to be answering your questions around 3D printing, specifically looking at the beginners trying to get into the hobby. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Steve and I am a self-taught maker of almost 10 years. I started with absolutely nothing and I grew my range of tools and skills and experience to 3D printing, laser cutting, CNC, programming, and electronics. My goal is to share my passion for making and hopefully inspire others to dive in and make things they never thought possible they could do. So let's get into your questions. Where can I find 3D models online? Well, 3D models are available in all sorts of libraries around the internet. The most common sites that I've used are Thingiverse, Printables, My Mini Factory, Fangs, and Cults. Each of the sites will have a search engine, and all you do is type in the keywords for the things that you're looking for and select the file that's most appropriate for your needs. Is it legal to download and print any 3D model I find online? And that's a tricky question to answer, and it depends upon the license. All the files that are hosted on the sites that I've mentioned carry a license, and that license dictates how the file can be used. These range from totally free use for whatever purpose you want to heavy restrictions on only printing personally for you. So depending on how you're going to use the file will define whether or not what you're doing is deemed okay or not. How can I modify a 3D model to fit my specific needs? Well, depending on the requirement, it could be as simple as just scaling the file, and that can be done within the slicing software. You can change the scale size in all 3 dimensions uniformly, or you could squash it in one axis or another. It all depends upon what you're trying to do. If you need to change the geometry of the file, you will need some application that can manipulate these types of files, typically some sort of CAD program. Can I create 3D models without any design experience? And if so, how? You can create files without design experience, and it all depends upon what it is you're trying to achieve. First and foremost, you're going to need some sort of application to create the 3D file in. So whether that is a CAD program, or whether or not you're using some sort of AI generator, you're going to need to input into that application to get a result. AI generators that I've used to date using images and text prompts haven't really yielded anything useful for me. So typically I've gone down the road of using some sort of CAD programs. Very often, to get design experience, you have to do the thing to get the experience. And that's ultimately where I've come from. I've come from a background where I've had no design experience whatsoever. And through a process of trial and error, I've developed the skill of knowing what will work and what will not work, both functionally, but also from a 3D printing perspective, what is likely to print well, what is likely to fail. My recommendation is to dive right in and get your feet wet with the full expectation that you're going to get a lot of failures at the beginning, but as your journey progresses, those failures will start to diminish as your knowledge and experience grows. What software is best for beginners to start designing 3D models? Now, this is an incredibly difficult question to answer because there are many variables that play into the decision-making process. One is the skill that you have as a designer, and the second is around the budget that you've got available to you, whether that be budget in time or money. So there are quite a lot of applications that are totally free that are well capable of producing excellent 3D models. And the things that come off the top of my head are Fusion 360, Blender, FreeCAD, OpenSCAD. So those 4 different applications have wildly different user interfaces, ranging from something which is a graphical point and click mouse operation where you design your model and then you export it, right the way through to OpenSCAD, which is a text-based editor of all things. The next thing you need to look at once you get these applications is to use their interfaces and see whether or not that gels with the way that you think and the way that you operate. Try them all, then find the one that fits. If you're interested in getting a professional 3D CAD program installed for free, why not check out this video here?